Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Rick dropping in on you. Hope everybody is getting your week off to a great start. It is Money Monday. Today, we're going to talk about the importance of understanding and recognizing the difference between an asset and a liability. And while that sounds simple and easy, uh, you'll be surprised at how many people confuse liabilities as assets, and I'll get into a very brief definition of that. It is clearly explained and laid out for you in the Path to Generational Wealth course. Before I get started, you've heard me say over and over again that if you don't have at least two independent streams of income that you use to hedge your primary source of income, that you are setting yourself up, number one, for a cataclysmic event should you lose your primary source of income, but you're also missing opportunities to hedge and protect and leverage it for the purpose of creating revenue to build wealth. You know that I created the 7-day online business launch course. And people ask, well, why should we, trust what you do? And you have to make up in your mind based off what you've seen me do, what you've seen me say, what you've been able to verify about the things I share with you. If you are a person who's diligent, when I tell you something, you go look it up, or you kind of see, can I see that reflected in what he's done? Well, the one thing you can do is say, okay, this guy's been online for 13 plus years. What you can say is that he has I've seen Master Fitness 21. I've seen Odyssey Media Group. I've seen the Visionetics Institute. I've seen what other ones? Myriad Business Solutions and others that I know he does. I know that he runs the Odyssey Project, and these are things that I can go online and look. I can literally research and see the work he's done. I know he's published 26 books. I know he's brought 47 companies to profitability. These are things I've done. I've literally sit up over the last 13 years and produced over 80+% of my revenue online. And so when I'm giving you this, I'm giving you the blueprint that I've used. And as I've grown and evolved and technology has evolved and grown and new tools have developed, I've changed to adapt to it. But it's the same principle and primary structure that I'm giving to you with all the new tools added to it, things that I didn't have when I started 13 plus years ago that are now present and gives that much more punch to your effort to sit up and create it. If you've ever dreamed of owning a business, now's the time to start. If you don't have at least two independent streams of income that you can use to hedge your primary source of income, whether that's working for someone else, your primary source of income, or if you've got your own business or whatever, you still need to be hedging it with multiple streams of income. And this is one way to do it: online, leveraging the power of the internet, the power of social media, and the massive tools that come along with it. Look, so that's that. Now, here's the beautiful thing about it, and then we're going to move right into today's discussion. The beautiful thing is, not only are you going to get the 7-day online business launch course, which pays for itself over and over again. If you create a business online and you're consistently earning money, you've paid for the course every time that you sell something or sell a number of things that equals the cost of the course. And that's the beauty of this thing. It pays for itself in a quantitative method. You can measure how much you are getting from your return on investment. But you're not going to just get that. You're going to get the $599 The Mind Unleashed course. The Mind Unleashed course, if you have any limiting beliefs blocking you, any paradigms that need shifting, all of this stuff falls under that category. You're going to get that. That's $599 course free. You're going to get the 6-month personalized success and growth plan, a plan designed specifically for you based on your personality, based on your DISC assessment, and based on how you answer 20 specific questions that I created for you. You're going to get that. But most of all, you're going to get the flagship program, the one that I spent 10 years of research and interviews building. The Path to Generational Wealth course is an 18-month course, regular price at $2,600. You'll also get that free today. The link is in the description box. When you click it, you're going to get a presentation that kind of explains everything. You can scroll through that presentation at any time. You can decide to sign up, but check it out. At least check it out. It's free to check out. Click the link and find out what's possible, because if you don't take action, you consistently sitting in the same space. So that's that. Look, sign up, get all the bonuses. So we're talking $3,200 in bonuses. So it's worth it. Look, here we go. One of the first things that I had to learn when I decided that I was going to learn about finance, long before I really understood the importance of structuring the way I did things for the back end, which is wealth building. The front end is still being able to manage and understand. And one of the biggest problems we have is we think anything of value is an asset, but not when it's costing us money or not when it's depreciating. There are several different things. I'm gonna give you a real simple way to identify an asset as opposed to a liability. Because there are a lot of people believing that their homes are assets. And while a home can become an asset normally under traditional means of purchase, it doesn't start out that way. And I explained that in a moment. But here we are. So an asset can be defined in one. It has to have three particular components. Two definitely. One is in some instances optional, but I use all three to define asset. Number one is it has to hold or appreciate in value. It can be used as collateral, and it's insurable. If you can't insure it, if it can't be used as collateral for a loan, and it doesn't hold or appreciate in value, it's not an asset. So is your home an asset? Your home becomes an asset when you build enough equity in it that your equity outweighs your debt. So in other words, when you own more of your home than the bank does, the home becomes an asset. It also becomes a protected asset in the sense that you own enough equity to pay off the debt if you have to. So then what you have to do is understand that your goal in building wealth is to acquire or accumulate assets. So you're looking for things that you can put your money in, which your money and what you earned is in itself an asset. Now, cash is simply a representation of an asset. It is a promissory note of an asset. It in and of itself is not an asset. Keep that in mind. Cash represents value. But when it's not backed by anything of value, it loses its value. And so you're looking at the US dollar. The US dollar doesn't have a backing. It's not backed by oil. It's no longer backed by gold. And so what is it backed by? It's actually backed by debt. The value of the dollar is supported, abundant by consumer debt. So the more that you are convinced to spend beyond your means, the longer the dollar survives. The dollar right now, honestly, is on life support, because in order to keep up with the rapid growth of expenditures, Nixon decided to take the dollar off of the gold standard, meaning that we didn't have to have the gold to back the amount of money we printed. So then we were able to print money and use it. And then we were able to use our position and power in the world to literally psych the world into believing the dollar had value. And there's a lot more behind it. I'm giving you the one-on-one version. So what happens is anything in finance, I can tell you now, you can inflate it for a while, you can give false readings for a while, but the market in every way possible finds a way to correct itself. And so what has happened with the dollar is inflation has ate it up because there's nothing to back it. And then when we go into these points and moments where we are not spending, the dollar suffers even more. So what do they need us to do? They need us to consistently go into debt. And what happens with the debt? They sell it. And speaking of homes, if you've ever purchased a home, you'll realize this whole debt selling game real quick, because you'll look up and the company that originally financed your home, your original mortgage, you'll get a booklet or a letter or something else, and you'll find out that someone has bought your paper. And what that simply means is the original mortgage company sold your paper, sold your loan to someone else. They got paid off a percentage of what they would have collected if they collected the loan over time. And this new mortgage company is willing to play the long game and collect payments over time, or hope that you are not able to make the payments and foreclose on the home. And the long game is what they want to play most of the time. There are some times when it's more beneficial not to, but most of the time they want to play the long game. So again, looking for things of value. That's why you see wealthy people always at auctions buying art and collectibles. Are they going to put all that stuff on their walls in their homes and on their shelves and tables? Hell no. Most of that stuff is in a storage unit somewhere. You know what they do with it? Remember what an asset is. It appreciates in value. It can be used as collateral, and it's insurable. What do? They buy it. They insure it. What they do is they buy it at an auction for what they hope to be a discounted price on its value. Then they have it appraised for a higher value. Then they have it insured for the appraised value. So they have an insured amount of money on something they paid less for. So they actually increased their wealth by simply purchasing something and insuring it. So then that is what you should be looking to do. And I'm not saying that, try to get off into art. What I'm saying is find things that appreciate in value, invest in them, insure them. And when you do see a wealthy person and they've got these unbelievable car collections, George Foreman, Jay Leno, all of them have these unbelievable car collections. What they've done is they've hidden their wealth in their car collection, because all of those cars are going to be insured. They provide a sense of pleasure and enjoyment, but there are where my money is kept and insured. Something happens to those cars, I have an insurance policy on it. And so these are the way they protect it. And the crazy thing is, when I first learned about this, I didn't know what it was and didn't pick up on it, but it was interesting to me. And it was simply, and I've shared this before, it was simply watching Trading Places with Eddie Murphy, where they kidnap him. He was a bum on the street. They kidnap him to settle an argument about their two different philosophies. One is a person who believes your environment determines who you are. The other one believes you're born to be who you're going to be. And so what they did is they took Eddie Murphy out of his environment, put him in their environment to see if he would thrive, or would, he just simply be who he was. And when he wakes up, he's in their mansion and he starts stuffing stuff in his pockets and say, "You don't have to steal in it. It's all yours." And he says it's all mine. So he picks up this expensive vase and he says, "So I can just throw this down and break it." And he throws it down. And one of the brothers says, "We paid $50,000 for that vase." And Eddie Murphy's eyes buck. And the other one said, "That's okay. We insured it for 70." They made $20,000 on that broken vase. Now, nobody's running around breaking that stuff and tearing it up. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is the way they think and the way you need to come to understand what a liability is versus a liability is going to cost you money. So when you first purchase a home, it's costing you money. There's nothing in it for you, but you are slowly purchasing a position where at some point it will become an asset for you, where you'll have more equity in your home than you have debt in your home, and it becomes an asset. Now, at any point in time, you can leverage whatever equity you have in your home to better position yourself. And sometimes that's necessary. You can have more debt than equity, but use your equity to put yourself in a position to generate revenue or to purchase an asset that over time will generate revenue at a faster rate than what you're doing. So it's there, and that part of it can be considered in some way an asset, but I don't count it as an asset because they still hold the leverage power to literally take from you what you have paid for without you being able to do anything if you don't have income. Once you go over where you owe more than what is, I mean, you own more than what is owed, you can always leverage what you own to pay off what you owe. So then it does become an asset. It's yours. There's a way to always protect it. Unfortunately, most people don't understand it. But again, the idea is to identify things that are insurable, appreciate in value, and can be used as collateral for a loan. Um, and it doesn't mean you go out and you get loans on all this stuff. What it means is that's just a simple way to identify something of value. Is if they're willing to give you a loan on it, they're saying they trust it will hold its value based on the amount of the loan they give you. So it's real important to kind of understand the system will tell you what's valuable and what's not. If you can't get a loan on it, it's not valuable. Or it's not an asset in the sense that you don't own it. You know, you say, I went out and bought a car. No, you went out and financed a car. And that's the thing you need to understand. You financed a car and you financed it more than likely in a compounded situation, just like your home. So the longer it takes you to pay for it, the more you're going to pay for it. So you also need to understand that we need to be working in the reverse. Instead of building compounded debt, we should be building compounded growth. In other words, allocating our money into things that grow on a compounded scale, meaning that it pays an interest, increasing or appreciating either monthly or yearly, and then it pays interest on the interest. So it's compounding. As you add to it, it's adding, plus it's paying itself on what it's adding and you're adding. That's compound growth. If you need to understand the power of it, go to the internet, type in Google or Bing or wherever, type in compound calculator. And then you can type in the percentage of the average, whatever fund or whatever you want to invest in. What does it pay annually in interest? I like passively managed mutual funds, index funds like the S&P, Vanguard, 8.2 to 10% consistently. There are some up and down years, but if you look over the last several decades, bam, it's consistently 10%. So you put 10% in and you can put the number of years that you're going to pay in it and let it build and how much you're going to put in it monthly. And it'll tell you exactly what you're going to make in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years on down the line. If you add that amount of money and it stays at that percentage, you can get an idea of how wealth has grown. Warren Buffett says that's the reason he's where he's at, is that one mechanism. Now, obviously, he's made some beastly moves. The Coca-Cola move was a beast move. The acquisition of insurance companies is always going to be a beast move. Insurance companies make money. They are the gamble without the gamble. Insurance companies can insure stuff that they're going to pay out on because they have actuaries, mathematicians who have these crazy minds that go out and literally figure out how much you need to charge someone based on the likelihood of a particular group having an accident, getting robbed, dying, whatever type of insurance it is, that literally this is what we're going to charge, and this is the profit we can expect to make on it based on that, because these amount of people are going to end up making claims. It's amazing, but insurance companies are definitely a place to invest in. So if you're thinking about investing individually, I love index funds. Why? Because and it's not that I haven't invested in individual companies, because I have, but that index company is going to put your best performers right there in front of you. Look, I'm not going to stay long. We're already approaching 20 minutes. It's a Monday. I got a lot to do. I know you got a lot to do. Some of you guys are out and you're getting ready to celebrate Juneteenth. Have a blast. But look, don't forget to take advantage of this course. Again, if you want to know why I'm qualified to build courses like this, again, I have successfully written and published 26 books. I have brought to profitability 47 companies. I have consistently done online 80% of my revenue that allows me to do the things that I do, including support my family, take care of myself, furnish and finance my dream, and support an organization in which I do in the hood where I literally fund 90+% of that work. So again, if you are looking to change your life, it starts with saying, I'm going to do something different. You're going to have to hedge your income. You're going to have multiple streams of income. At some point, you're going to have to automate your income. I can teach all of that. But what you're going to have to do is get out of the box of traditional thinking and move towards a way of thinking that produces the type of results that you're looking for. So again, I am challenging you to take action and do something other than what you've done in the past. As I always say, I'm going to live my life on full so that when I leave this place, I die on E. I challenge you to do the same thing. On that note, I'm out of here. You guys have an unbelievable remainder of your day.